I don't know. That's where we'll have to see from RCY if he's forcing himself to buy the Force Staff, or if he's just really going to trust his teammates and say that I'll never be hooked where you guys can't get me, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Because Tinkers in the past have been forced to buy Force Staff. Of course, when Tinker was maybe in a little bit of a worse spot, but versus heroes like Zeus and Clockwork, that has been the answer for some players. But that's where I think RCY is pretty confident in his own skills to just get that Shiva's guard before you're ready, and then as we always see, he goes Shivas right into BKB, right into overwhelming blink, and then you just become unteam fightable. It's where unless you have a bunch of BKB cores that are able to survive even after the fact, you do just kind of eventually die. But we'll have to see, because I think in Scourge's hero pool as well, I'm very interested to see what he decides to go for, because I feel like right now if you're the cut, get as many stuns as possible, and then you'll feel kind of satisfied versus this Tinker. It's where even the Naga Siren, I think, would also be pretty good in this game, just giving you that super long range catch. And no better position to pick your carry than right now, because right now there's only a single carry ban on the board. So we'll see if they decide to hit there or if they're worried about Nico's hero pool.
Before we get there, DogChamp looking to shore up the support duo with the Dark Willow. Not a not a bad pick, I suppose, and the Dark Willow is starting to see a little bit more attention here, ET. Wouldn't really say that she's back into being popular, but it does give Yaren some nice tools to work with, right? You've got Stun, you've got Root, you've got the Terrorize, so if there is a play where they do manage to somehow catch the Tinker and try to dogpile on him, one Terrorize can just push them all back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is, of course, versus Mars going to be just a little bit more valuable. Punish Nick for not getting the BKB immediately. It's where you could almost say that Nick might want to just go for phase BKB as opposed to stopping for the blink, but then you're all in on Nico being the one finding the lockdown on this Tinker. And again, I wonder what Nico is actually going to want to play in this game. If it is going to be just simply the Zeus, or if he feels like he's going to need to maybe tick a few more boxes for his team. Dawnbreaker. Okay. That is very different, and it will be flexed, I think, between Stonebank and Italiano. If I had to say, though, I'd probably say 75-25 for it to be Italiano's hero, because Stonebank, it likes to be more of a, I think, your win objective, but more save, another healer in the lineup, just another person to try and save this Tinker if he does get gone on.
Right.
It's very funny, and not something that they've done before. Usually they like to look for a hero for Italiano that helps them with the vision game, gives the Tinker more, maybe an easy time for those homing missiles, but then they respond with Morphling. Okay. Okay. I don't mind it.
See who he opts to turn into, because you do have some nice options. Obviously, if the Tinker's there, you could get a hell of a lot more damage from that, but there's an Undying, there's a Dark Willow, so could still try to make that sort of Shadow Realm play work on the Morphling. Quite a bit for him to work with.
And I'm looking, and it's like the Axe is not the best versus int heroes. Like I'm looking and seeing like Stolen Spell Amp sounds like pretty good, but I don't know. It's something you don't see play out in games very often. I feel like he's just going to become the Undying pretty much every single time, and then just put a Tombstone down as it has been. But this also does put pressure on Stonebank. What carry is he actually going to want to play here is kind of the new name of the game, because you are playing into Morphling Eggs. You're playing versus someone who's going to be pretty obnoxious. It's where you're also playing versus a Clockwork, though, so any carry that buys a Force Staff is going to feel that much nicer for you. Where I do wonder if it's just an illusion carry. Again, Naga Siren's still in the pool. I could see that honestly play out for both sides, but yeah, I think that's probably one of your better bets.
Whoa.
And no, the other illusion hero, we haven't seen for a while, but an old Stonebank hero that he played a ton whenever you got a little bit more damage from Chaos Strike and it still affected Roche, but okay, overwhelm the Morphling with illusions, give you a little bit more lockdown, sure. And this puts so much less pressure on Italian Gangster being on a weirder offlaner. So really balances out the matchup, and then the last pick, Storms versus Thinker. Just makes sense.
Give that a go, see if Nico can catch him, but it just feels very nice from DogChamp now, right? You take a look at the non-Tinker cores, Dawnbreaker and Chaos Knight are going to be so adept at staying alive, drawing out the fight, keeping heroes focused on the front line so that RCY can do his business coming in from the flanks. So you're not really going to have those quick and easy kills maybe onto B9 if you can catch him, but everyone else is going to be a lot tougher to bring down.
And the real question is, for Nico, does he have enough mana to kill the Tinker? Will RCY take too long? Will you be strapped at that point, and then your Storm Spirit falls apart? Because Storm Spirit is not as free. You are unable to make mistakes. It's where, as this game goes on longer, that is going to be the big question that the cut need to answer. And it's where the easier they are to find those initiations, the better those initiations are, the less pressed the Storm Spirit's going to be to make those extra jumps. It's also where for DogChamp, the more Force Staffs, the more Glimmer Capes, the more repositioning that they're able to pick up makes it very difficult for the Storm Spirit to ever just stay on a single person. But that's where I think really both sides, they've got very different ideas, but it's a fun game ahead of us because this is a game that becomes all about that jump, all about that initiation. And if you flop, well, I can already see it in my head, the RCY ultra kill after you've used everything, but you're unable to kill him, and then he just starts snowballing the game. So I'm ready. This is going to be a fun one.
I am just so concerned for the cut because we're already talking about you might have some trouble killing RCY, right? That's not even taking into account, he can kind of call his own number. If you jump in onto him and he gets off that defense matrix beforehand, he's not unkillable, but people always seem to sort of misjudge a little bit just how much harder it gets to lock him down if that matrix is up already.
No, and we'll have to see because RCY, he's been a selfish boy. He's never gone for the other talent for the CDR. You know, he's always gotten that keen conveyance talent at level 20, but that's also where RCY Tinker, he's just got a checklist, you know? Get level 8, smoke from the ancient stack that Yarn or B9 or whoever has farmed up for you. Kill that, get your level 12, not a little bit longer after that. The cut, though, they should have done their homework. I want to see, with such a very easy to call way that RCY likes to play as Tinker, maybe it's time somebody sat down and just watched a replay and just said, you know, this is what he does every single time. We're going to take his jungle. We're going to fight him here. We're going to put him in an arena when he's smoked killing these ancients. That's what I'd love to see from the cut.
I'm just... There's a scene in my head playing out, though, if they plan for that. They say, oh, he's going to play this way, and then all of a sudden, RCY suddenly busts out, oh, actually, I have this other item build that works just as well that I was saving. That's probably not likely to happen, but, you know, just a classic power boost. But if you're the cut, well, you got to find some way, right? You got to shut this Tinker down. We've seen what RCY does. He just takes over games over and over again, so...
Will you commit and hold
can't let him
hands
be the
with
trump
me?
card. We'll see just how much pressure they can put on, because if they go looking, they drafted a lineup that might just be able to catch him. But you have to have that vision. You have to have those quick reactions. You cannot afford to let too many opportunities pass you by.
No, and you know what? That's the beauty, in a way, of Tinker. There really is only one build. And if you could do anything else, the hero's still terrible.
Yeah.
If you try to experiment in any way, you aren't going to be too happy. But that's where it is just a matter of execution and whether or not you actually get those item timings just a little bit too fast. Because RCY, he's gotten slow blinks. He's gotten slow level 12s. He's been under pressure before. It's just where not enough comes out in that mid game to really halt him up too much. And then the Shivas comes out, and the BKB comes out, and then your head just starts hurting. There's 3-man Decay to lead it off here.
Yeah.
Well, they're fighting, but I feel like we might see a walk away.
Oh,
But
there's
Pingu,
the Bramble.
yeah, and he's
Bramble into Chaos Bolt, into Laser for the kill, and... boy, that's the last thing you want to see if you're the cut. First blood to the Tinker. It's already enough to maybe get them sweating a little bit.
stuck. I know I'd be sweating. Yeah. Gonna have a free bottle now versus the Storm Spirit, but that's also where this lane, it's very difficult to force the Storm Spirit out. You have so much armor, you don't care about the laser blind all too much either. You actually can fight for the range creep blast hits, which is something that not every lane RCY has played into has had the luxury of, but we will have to see, because anything Nico can do to slow RCY down, it's going to matter so much in this game.
Well, meantime, take a look at what's going on in these side lanes, because the cut do have a little bit of a dangerous combo down bot here. Mars and Hoodwink, a little bit of a classic. However, the targets that you have to go on aren't going to be easy. You got a CK and an Undying, neither of which are exactly fragile at this point. So, well, I don't know. How aggressive do you want to be if you're not sure you're going to be able to actually secure the kill if you go all in?
Yeah, no, it's not fun. I think that's where, yet again, probably just have to wait for a few more levels where you know you've got that kill secure. Until then, you're kind of just playing this waiting game where you're playing footsies with your opponents.
So far, Stonebank does not seem to care much about anything going down. 8-2, just minding his own business. B-God's been mostly focused on trying to push Yarn back, which, yeah, fair enough, right? Decay onto Mars is not a fun scenario, so he's trying to mitigate as much damage as he possibly can. Looks like we have a little bit of a similar scenario playing out in the top lane. Pingu is just going to try and use this battery assault, keep them at arm's length, make sure the Brambles don't catch Scourge out, and as long as Scourge doesn't just forget how attribute shift works, I don't really think they're going to catch him by surprise.
Now, if they get him really far up in the lane, then there might be slightly more kill potential, but until that happens, then they should be relatively fine. Also got a little bit of T. Turns out B9 wanted to play Undying, and it looks like Yaren also wanted to play the Dark Will, but they misclicked. So they're swapping roles for this game and this game alone, but that might explain why we've got the lanes swapped right now. But of course, you know, support's support. Maybe you don't have the signature Bloody 9 Undying, but I'm sure Yaren will be a-okay. And Yaren's done a good deal of playing 5, and not just 5, but CM and Undying as well, because you know my heroes are quite popular in the pubs. So I'm sure nobody's gonna feel that uncomfortable.
I don't know. In previous Pro Series, other teams have attempted, right, to call for a remake on missed selections like that, but I don't know if that's something DogChamp tried and didn't get, or if they just said, yeah, screw it, we'll just switch it up like this. But there is a little bit of an issue here. Stonebank gonna get speared back, gonna get taken down. A couple tower shots in there to help, and that's the exact combo that they were looking for. And it does feel like they're gonna need the tower to do that more than just the one CT, but it pays off this time at least.
Punished the tombstone timing as well, where Yarn couldn't put something up to just cause that interference, so ends up being a free kill. And you do have to be careful here, because well, they just got level 3, but yeah, there's somebody coming back up. And is the tomb going to be there to slow him up? Yep. Immediately tries to make the trade, though. Bigod's trying to get it down, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it happen. And then Yarn probably just has to go for the deny. Yeah. So not the worst case scenario.
Got the bush
now, no, Nick is scared. He doesn't want to give a kill to the CK.
He's got the mana for the spear, but yeah, if Stonebank decides to join the fight, yeah, I don't know. Nick could potentially get away, or maybe he can't. Can he actually get out? Yes, he can. Okay. Stonebank doesn't do quite enough damage there, but in the previous attempt, Yarn would have been there to help out, so Nick's just going to play it safe. Gets his support coming back. At the same time, though, Yarn, I think he might just be going for the tower deny here. Yeah, he's angling towards the tier 2, so he's just gonna sort of off himself to the tower. Don't think anyone can TP back to get credit for that kill, so he's gonna be just fine. Stonebank, though, has got to play it back a little bit until the Undying returns.
Yeah, could eat a lot of damage, but doesn't want that to happen. And actually, there was a Glyph of the Creeps just in the mid lane, because RCY has pushed Nico so far back here, has an empty bottle as well, and with no support rotating over, RCY is just looking to deny this entire wave underneath the Storm Spirit's tower. Already, this is a little bit difficult for the Storm to play. Even almost probably could have soul killed him there, but didn't have the range of the laser. But he has, yeah, denied or killed to the tower every single creep in what was 8 creeps underneath that tower. The Storm is very sad. I mean, 23 and 14. RCY's already having a hell of a game.
Nico now has to go all the way back to base. By the time he gets back, RCY is going to have a definitive experience lead, so this isn't what you were hoping for with this mid matchup. Of course, what you're hoping for with the Storm is going to come later, right, in terms of actually hunting the Tinker down. So him not winning this lane is unfortunate, but maybe not unexpected, although with the way the supports are angling here, they're going to give this a go.
Gonna try for it underneath the tower.
He's got a full stick, though, so this isn't going to be easy. He'll heal himself up. Can Yarn get in for the Soul Rip? No, because he doesn't have it. But RCY's dancing around the tower. B-God's not going to be able to finish the kill. Nico's the one who's now going to get stunned up. And they're turning. Destroyer gets into the river, grabs a rune, gets the laser for the kill. Nico dies behind the tower, and these are the kind of plays that we look at, ET, right? That was a risk. If you find the kill, cool. You've evened up the middle lane. But now that you not only miss it, but lose your own mid laner, this is done. RCY has won mid.
You know, and that tip hurts. Because all you do is just walk the supports, and it just is that level disadvantage where you're not even close to level 6 on the Storm Spirit. So it feels weird that they're there in the first place, but they're rotating for a 6-minute rune. They're there just because they're there, and they expect you to be level 6, but that's where Nico's really dropped the ball here. RCY now only 1,000 gold away from a blank dagger. Oh boy, it's starting to happen, as well as now a triple stack in his triangle that awaits him, so that's where, again, I bring it up. Did you do your homework, Cut? Or is RCY going to have that perfect 10-minute start that it seems to always have on his Tinker?
Yeah. Smoke play into the jungle. He's got max... Actually, he doesn't have max laser just yet, but now he does, so... He's going to be getting a lot of money unless the Cut do something about it, but right now they're not in a great position to do so. Nobody can really rotate either. They had the Clockwork take over mid because the Storm has kind of shoved off to the jungle, but just it doesn't look great for them right now. This looks a little better, however. Yaren gets hit by both the Bushwhack and the Spear and still has no Soul Rip, but again, Nick really showing a lot of respect to Stonebank here. He doesn't want to commit fully.
Yep, and it is just damage. They don't want to go for it all the way because they know that then they have nothing for Stonebank, who will just be able to peacefully farm here. And they are trying to get a little bit aggressive, 8-minute runes, but well, unless you want to zip and kill yourself for it, the Arcane Rune will just fall in RCY's hands. And well, if it would have been close before, this Arcane Rune means that he should just get that for free. But Yaren, whoa, but... Oh no. Does he get turned on? Yeah. Nice cogs, but I think this is just a free kill on the Clockwork. Does he get the trade? Nope.
Not enough on the flare. Is it just level 1? Yeah, it is. Unfortunate. He could have pulled off a trade. At least he gets something, but... Well, DogChamp find the kill. They did have to use Solar Guardian there, so that is down for a pretty hefty amount of time, ET, but... Where else was he going to go in the next 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, and here we go. The Tinker's making his way over now. He's going to probably stack it one more time, pop the smoke, pop the Arcane Rune. And before, of course, it looks close. Does he get the double? Nah, okay. Just says it might be a little bit too big for him to farm, so goes for the guaranteed stack instead. But with this Arcane Rune, now you guaranteed have enough mana to actually kill this. And you give the XP over to your Dark Wolf, so you just always do this, and it's so efficient. And
Stonebank's in some trouble, though.
Yeah.
Okay. They're at least able to get that. They had to use... Whoops, wrong hero. They had to use the arena to make that happen, but they do get it. And then they scan. They know RCY is in here, but... Oh, what's anybody going to do about it? They're not even on the right side. Oh. Ooh. Hold on a second. I don't know. Another one wouldn't be enough for a kill, but... Yeah, he got what he wanted.
And you know what is the saddest thing there? The only reason that goes as cleanly as it does is because he got the Arcane Rune. Without it, rearm is just another 2 seconds added on there. It would have been so much slower. But just finds what he needs, has a blank dagger now. Gonna be super annoying as Nico's just gonna eat max level laser, max level rocket. And now that it's daytime as well, the Cut cannot even imagine approaching this mid tower. Do need to be careful about Pingu with the hook shot, but aside from that, they're in a fantastic spot.
Oh, Nico, that... He just used Ball Lightning to dodge Missile, which is a nifty play, but this is not Old Storm. Can't make that play too many times because the mana's gonna kind of get eaten away, but just the once to make sure he doesn't get hit, fine, fair enough, but I don't think that's a reliable tool moving forward.
And we'll see, because I think now RCY, yeah, is just going to kill off the large camp stack as well, because his opponents are probably not going to imagine that he's going to be able to be killed here. But top, Stonebank again. Could be big. Nice Phantasm, though. Super sick from Stonebank. Dodging out the aggression. Isn't able to connect with a pull. So because there's no pull, there's no Bushwhack. Means there's no Sharpshooter. Means there's no kill on Stonebank.
Italiano Gangster makes his way down bot. He's got a pretty decent matchup here against Nick, but just looking for some farm, because at this point, you take a look at his item build, ET. He knows that he's a core hero. He knows he might need to be relied upon for some extra damage, and not quite a Deso rush, right? He stopped for boots, bracer, and a soul ring, but that's his first major pickup. That's middle lane. Okay, they're going to try to get Yarn, but he's able to heal himself up. With RCY here as well, I don't think you want to go any further. Oh my god, RCY! Okay, he wants to go further, and wow, B-God was not ready for that, and he's not going to be ready for that, because this is a position for Hoodwink. He basically has nothing to make himself any tankier.
Nope, not able to survive too well, and this is, I think, is trip number 4 back to the base for the Storm Spirit. Just not really able to connect onto any of these kills, and now you love to TP back mid and then look for the power rune, and there will be a regen rune, but B9 kills it. Does B9 pay with his life, though, is the real question, and I think the answer is yes. But, oh no!
Solar Guardian's coming in. Nico's going to sidestep it, but he's still dropping too low. Curse Crown's going to stun him. He was able to at least get away. Or, no, you don't want to go back in. RCY's here. He's going to make the jump. Does he have enough damage? No, he doesn't. Okay. Where's the counterplay? The Mars TP is taking too long, so it looks like there isn't going to be one. That doesn't go too poorly for the cut. Would have been nice if they could have made the jump onto the Tinker, but just a 1-for-1 support trade there.
Yeah, it's too many TPs one after another. They end up just staggering themselves too hard, and now they want to defend this top tower because Scourge doesn't want to lose this place to farm, as well as Italiano just kind of retreating back to his other side. But, well, okay, enemy tomb. Now they need to kill the tomb and then start running away, but I think this might be DogChamp running this one out. I think Yarn, probably just time to cut and run here.
Yarn's dead. Tombstone's going to get cleaned up. They are going to run into the Mars on the backline here, but Nick, I don't know if he really wants this fight. That's still a 1v2. His teammates weren't in position yet. A Destroyer gets the kill. RCY is able to clean it up. There was a sharpshooter hit onto Stonebank, so maybe for a moment they would try to push in for more AT, but Storm is entirely out of mana at that point.
Yeah, just isn't able to make it happen, and unfortunately for them, it ends up costing them. But I'll have to see how they decide to defend this top tower again, because, yeah, Scourge makes his way out. I think the trade is finally going to come through, and honestly kind of favors the cut, just because, of course, taking those tier 1s away from Tinker is very important, but also this bottom tier 1 is just a little bit healthier, so we'll have to see. But and RCY is just a bully. I feel so bad for Nico. A lot of times when he's going back to base, it isn't even just because of the mana. It's because of his health just plainly not being there. But DD rune, picked it up. Now Yarn might go down again, and yeah, should be your free kill. RCY, though, got clipped.
And they need to save him. Solar
There's
Guardian's
the bait,
coming
though.
in. Oh, no. Italiano Gangster is just everywhere he needs to be with that play, as B-God is not completing that TP. Tried for it, but the Starbreaker's going to cancel it out, and that's the second or third time, maybe, ET, where the Tinker is in a position where he is catchable, but the cut haven't actually been able to fully catch him yet.
Yeah, and Italiano Gangster is not dropping the beat here. Every single aggressive play just has his Solar Guardian available to him, and maybe that comes down to him and Scourge just trading that much farm. And sure, at the same time, Scourge has a ton of farm. He is absolutely rich on this Morphling, but it's where is it going to be enough is going to be the real question of this game. He's working on a Mantis style, has it pretty soon here. Then he's going to be able to push out waves in addition to farming the jungle, but that's where there is still that important aspect of finding that jump from the cut that they just haven't been able to pin down yet here with either their Clockwork, their Storm, or their Mars. But Nick has a Blink Dagger. That's why they're smoked up. They're looking for a kill in the mid lane. Would love to place a ward as well, but we'll see what happens, because it looks like they might settle for B9, but no. Nick blinks in the exact opposite direction, and with that,
Ooh, everything
whiffs.
Here comes Italiano.
Oh, yeah, time to run.
Good spear. Just cut and run. Get the hell out of here. Nico, he thought about it, but this is a Storm who is not really equipped to do much, right? He's working towards the Kaya, but it's not there yet, so he can't really be the guy to get in there. They need Nick to make the play. And they might get a chance. How will the TPs work? He's gonna get it first. V-God's in. They finally caught him, and RCY does not have a way out.
Okay. Important kill. Not your deathless Tinker game that RCY somehow is able to manage, but there's your punish. Does have a Mystic Staff, though, in this back pocket here, so is getting closer to that Shiva's guard, but those punishes need to be many. And, of course, they place the Tinker Ward. They're going to look to make that play over and over again, but we'll have to see how that actually ends up playing out here, because the rest of the cores, well, they are quite farmed as well. Stonebank almost has a full Orchid. You just finished Esso on Italiano Gangster. The Strength cores might be looking to make a play as Nico huge at mid, but looks like they'll maybe be able to get Yarn. This is living a little bit too long, though. And now, is Nico dead for it? Yeah.
Just takes too long, and B9, did he? Yeah, he actually found a kill on the Pingu there as well, so that's going to be a 2-for-1. He misses with the Bramble Maze, though, so you do get Nick out of there, but pressure is now going to come onto this Tier 1 tower mid, and B-God might be in some trouble here, too. Curse Crown. It will stun. Italiano, does he want to go in? That's a Tier 2 tower. You're diving, but Nick is going to force the issue, but that's not where you want to be. Italiano isn't able to kill him, but he can at least push him back. All the while, the tower did go down, so if you are looking for a fight, you don't have the tower to protect you, and Stonebank's still kind of hanging out in the middle here, so the cut won't push in. But now map control is getting to be a little bit of an issue, because the Morph, I mean, he just wants a safe place right now, and some of that space is going to be taken away.
No, it's starting to get eaten up just a little bit. Of course, Triangle is still very hard to breach. It's where losing that Tier 1 makes it slightly easier, but that's why the Manta pickup is very nice. And unless Stonebank has a Blink Dagger, and of course he's got it in Q, doesn't have it yet.
Oh, they might hit him!
He's going to walk in.
He's going to get pulled
Manta's
back.
It, but
can they actually catch up to him at this point? Not really. Okay.
Wasn't
and now
fast
the storm's
enough
coming
now.
in. Eco zips. Stonebank's dropping low. Bloody 9 already taken down. Italiano, though, is going to try to get himself in here, and they are starting to turn this fight. They've taken one out already, but Scourge is not the hero that they killed, so he's just going to start dishing the damage. RCY, he's here, but what can he really do? He's not even going to be able to hit up Pingu at this point, so he just has to fall back in the cut. It looked dangerous at the start there, but Scourge is able to just dance his way around and turn that into a win.
Yeah, just ends up taking too long. They end up overcommitting, and then becomes the Undying, and then, well, that's what happens when the tomb goes down from your Morphling. And that is a huge surplus of gold that now Scourge gets to play with. There's only one component away from the Aghanim Scepter, and then, yeah, you're in a great spot. You are very happy with your position here, at least for the Morphling. Rest of the lineup, still suffering, especially Nico, but everybody else is starting to catch up just a little bit more here, and it's where I think now for DogChamp, probably need the Ag Shard on the Dawnbreaker, probably need BKBs, Blink Daggers, might need to slow the game down even further, but that's where Scourge might just do it, especially if he can look at items like the Scotty after the Aghanim Scepter. He could be a new threat. Even turning around and getting just a plain old BKB could be that game changer for the cut, because he has never stopped farming. He is still massive.
A huge lead for him here, and one that will start to shrink once the Shivas is finished up here by RCY, but even once he has that, it is going to take a little bit more time for the Tinker to actually close the gap. So you are working with an advantage here. It's just if you're the cut, at what point, ET, are you willing to flip that switch and say, okay, Scourge, now you need to stop farming. Let's use that net worth to try and force a fight, as they are going to go in now onto Italiano, so the answer could be right this very moment. Italiano, well, you go for the Deso, you're not quite as tanky as you otherwise would have been, and now they're going to look for a little bit more. They push in mid with the arena. The problem is Nick went in alone onto Stonebank. It's a fight that he does lose. And the cut, they have to try and fight around Scourge. That has to be the anchor for them, as they're going to take down Yarn. Now they move on to Stonebank. Stonebank trying to toggle the armlet. Is he able to do so? No, he's not. Scourge finds the kill. B9 that's way too far forward to go on your own, and he's just going to offer up yet another kill. It's a 1-for-4 again in the cut's favor.
Yeah, still just too messy, and until you have that BKB up on Tinker, you don't see RCY committing for the team fights just yet. So they are just slowing down that pace of the game, but it's where the Morphling is still just easily on top, and yeah, Scotty is what it's going to be. He's going for it next, and that's where you wonder, are you in too much of a counter-pick Tinker game? But they're going in now. Okay, Yarn needs help, but he gets popped. Is the rest of the lineup going to get punished, though? Scourge, he's trying to walk away, but I think this is too much.
Yeah, they're not really able to do this. already starting to fall back, and they do this with Stonebank still about 10 seconds away when they initiate, so it gets him off the tower, I suppose, ET, but still kind of a costly play to make.
Mm-hmm. No, it's very expensive. And now, again, I think even though you did a great job of defending that mid tower, and of course for DogChamp, it is still standing, those BKBs need to be completed yesterday. It's where we're kind of out of that time where you can just beat around the bush and afford to wait. Without those, there's no way you're going to beat Scourge. And Scourge looking for that Scotty continues to be a fearsome threat. And we'll have to see, because all it takes is 1 or 2 team fights more, and then suddenly the Cut take that team fight win, that 4-0, and then turn it into Roshan. And then you got a big problem for DogChamp.
Have to be playing this very carefully, very... not passively, but cautious has to be the word for them, as we see a bit of a group up here from the Cut, making their way down bot, just looking to kind of protect Scourge while he keeps on farming, and well, if they run into anybody, could force a fight. B9, though, is going to pull the trigger first. They get the root onto B-God. They're going to hit him with the Curse Crown as well, but they see Scourge. They don't want to overextend here, but there's going to be the counterplay. B9 gets immediately jumped in on Italiano, is going to look for the TP home, and he should make it out. And now, Yarn, I don't know if you want to... Yeah, that's kind of awkward. His teammate was already out, but now he's caught. That's just going to be a free and easy kill.
Yeah, and takes Undying for the road here, because Scourge just wants to pressure this mid tower, and I think this mid tower is dead for free. So, for the first time ever in BTS Pro Series 12, DogChamp are feeling the pressure that this Tinker puts on their lineup. They don't have a mid player that wants to make plays just yet. He needs farm. The rest of the map isn't going too well, and even though that this Shiva's guard is online and he is making space with how countered he is, he's not farming as quickly as he has in previous games. He definitely feels like there's a lot more pressure pushing him to play a lot more defensively. And now, well, the Cut, they say we're big enough. Let's go do Roche. Nick has a BKB. And with it, I don't know if DogChamp can really afford to make this play happen. They might just have to sit by and let this one go. And, well, that's going to be a huge opening. Probably even just give it to the Storm Spirit as well at this point. Nico's got an Arcane Rune too, so the Cut are really feeling it right now.
They don't take it quickly, but they should get it. And now, going back and looking at Stonebank, this Orchid, haven't really felt much of an impact from it. If you try to throw it onto the Morph, he's got the Manta. I suppose if you're working in tandem with RCY, then it might be a little bit more intimidating, but they haven't been able to combine forces and play aggressively like that, and part of the reason why is because the Tinker isn't ready to go yet. So Stonebank got the aggressive item, but he didn't have the aggressive teammate when he needed it, and until that sort of scenario does come to pass, it just feels like this item is burning a hole in his inventory.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we do have a pretty big item timing coming up here. RCY, 1 component away from his BKB, but that's where both your CK and your Dawnbreaker might be a little bit more prepared to fight. Blink Dagger going to be up on the Dawn. You're going to have BKB for CK. Stonebank just really hasn't been able to play too much here for his team. And I think this Blink Dagger is going to change a whole lot, but it's another 2,000 gold that you don't have. They also scouted out Yarn, and, well, they might kill Yarn. Let's see, do they keep him alive for a second longer? Yep, just enough for the Morph to go off onto him. But the rest of the lineup is out.
They bail. They're just going to sacrifice Yarn for time. Fair enough. And, well, the closer we to the BKB. RCY is so unbelievably close to that, and then things could change, right? BKB Tinker, Blink Dagger up on Italiano, BKB finished up on your CK, so that's their that's their moment of Scourge. Okay, he's kind of gonna walk himself right in here and maybe force something. Nico trying to zip. Italiano, though, is going to get in. They get the silence down. They have the stun as well. Do they have the damage? It looks like it. They're going to be able to take down that first life, but Pingu flying in onto the backline. Solar Guardian coming in, trying to keep him alive, trying to punish the Clockwork. Can they bring him down in time? Yes, they can. They're going to get that kill too, but Scourge still on the front line. He's going to get rooted up, though. Terrorize coming through, going to catch him out. He's going to get feared. He was shifting to strength, though, so he's not taken down easily, but he still can't get away. Trying to wait for him, trying to TP. Not going to make it as RCY gets involved. DT and the cut. Well, only takes a little bit here. They're sort of standing on that knife's edge. Aegis gone, Morphling dead, and well, now we're starting to see the power swing the other way.
Yeah, and pretty much the worst hero as, ooh, B-God, he tried for a Bushwhack, and now B-God might be tinkered. Yeah, as it would may be, but pretty much the worst hero to get that streak from your Morphling as well. And again, it's that cleanliness of the jump. You can't afford to have a dirty jump. You can't mess up anymore if you're the cut, because it drags out everything from you. It's an irresettable fight. You commit everything, and if you don't get the kill, well, then you whiff. Then he blinks again. Then that's another 500 mana. Then he blinks again, and that's another 500 mana. And Storm Spirit only has 1500 mana. It's just impossible for Nico to close the distance where it used to be the counter, and now it's not. And well, this is not going to be a long zip. Oh no.
Yeah, that's it. That's as far as he can go. It's starting, ET.
And then the tips come through, and then the gap closes, and then those blink daggers and those BKBs. 2,000 gold, it's not a lot when you take a huge team fight like that. Even the Arcane Rune now on the back burner for RCY. And now, all the pressure's on Pingu. He has to get him in the cogs. He has to find a hook shot. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. And even if he gets the hook shot off now, well, you get Solar Guardian, you get your BKB off, you immediately rearm, and then you blink away. I just feel like now the team fights are going to get so difficult for the cut to execute.
And the bit that I was sort of mentioning in the draft as well, right? It's a maxed out defense matrix, so if you don't hit him before he puts that on himself, 40% status resistance. I mean, that is not insignificant. You are not going to have him locked down for as long as you think you are. And of course, we already talked about it, right? If you miss, Tinker burns you. If you go in and still hit him, but it doesn't stun for long enough, then it's basically the same situation.
Yeah, well, here we go. Looking at Scourge, he's looking for Yarn yet again here, trying to become the Undying, but this time, they're out. Wow. It's too preemptive. They get to regroup, and the cut are left wondering, hey, what's happening? What just went on? And then Nico, half mana.
RCY clearing the creep wave. Nico, he's thinking about it. I don't know if it's a good idea, but he's thinking about it. But he's not going to check. Okay. But here's the thing. Man. If they don't check, if they don't go, well, RCY TP stop, pushes the lane, takes that Tinker ward out, and I don't really know if Nick can do this even if he does get the jump. He's going to try for it, but the spear won't hit, and RCY's away.
And even though Begon's right on the mark, just doesn't matter, especially the Arcane Rune, just making his life so much easier to play. But while you're pushing out every single lane, your cores are farming the jungle in complete safety, because unless the cutter's smoked up, they have to show at least 2 or 3 heroes at all times. Now they're kind of baiting around the rune spot, and they won't actually decide to make a jump here.
Oh, God.
Oh, Pingu, you're in. Do you want to be in?
No, he does not. He is going to get taken down quickly, but Nico's able to jump in, but there's a Solar Guardian. Now Nico has to jump out. Looking for the TP away. Can he get it? Yes, he can, because the BKB was still active, but you had to sacrifice your support there in a situation where, I mean, it's not going to break their backs, right? Losing Clockwork, but Pingu did not need to make that initiation.
No, just him pressing the issue a little bit. Now, big zip, but it doesn't matter. Great instincts, but just not able to execute quick enough because RCY is just too quick, too sick with it. And even though the game is not really pulling in either direction right now, everybody is still just farming, especially Scourge. You still have this gnawing feeling in the back of your head here where, how are we going to do this? We're no longer really progressing the game anymore. Yeah, P.
Okay. A little bit of a bathroom
that
break
was directed at
DogChamp.
you, the viewers, by the way. Everybody go. Everybody go and then come back because this game might take a bit.
Yeah, and we do see, pulling up the graph again, as you said, neither side had really been pulling away, but that's mostly because DogChamp had to wipe away the deficit first, right? They're about 5 or 6k down. Now we're pretty much back to even. Win probability has it 60-40 in DogChamp's favor, which, fair enough. There's a Tinker in play here, but the Cut still have a chance to dig in their heels. They lost the lead, but they haven't fallen behind yet. But they need to make a play. They need to catch this Tinker or force a fight when the Tinker's not there. That's kind of a narrow window, ET, but it does still seem doable.
No, certainly does. And, the win probabilities, maybe ever so slightly favoring DogChamp. All it takes is initiation. A jump, a situation where they get him in the arena, where a spear connects, where you're just that quick, and then the game's blown wide open. Or, let's say we go even later than that, another 5 minutes where nothing happens, and Nick is suddenly looking at a Hex, and that could be your opportunity to change this game, where you just simply blink, Hex, don't let him get anything off, and then hope that RCY doesn't have a Hex of his own to play against, because RCY's got an Ethereal Blade now. He's going to immediately queue up the Hex, and then, oh, we might have some more problems down the road here, but fingers crossed.
Yeah. Just gotta hope for the best at this point, because your chance to shut the Tinker down passed a while back. Okay, he's just gonna TP out. Thought for a moment he would try to take Nico, but he still doesn't have a crazy amount of lockdown, right? You E-blade him, Nico just zips away, so not gonna take a risk there. Still just gonna farm up, but what's the play from the rest of the lineup here? They're grouped up like they want to smoke. Where? There it is. Okay, B9 had it. Excuse me, had it, and they're gonna go, but at the same time, the cut just went for a 5-man smoke of their own.
And you gotta be careful, because Tinker, of course, can get onto any hero right now. He's got the Boots of Travel too, effectively, with the Keen Conveyance, but also having an Arcane Rune bottled up on the Tinker. He is ready to take a crazy fight as Italiano. He gets scouted, no BKB. Oh, he gets out though. Oh, misses just barely.
Well, they found that first kill. There is no buyback available. Now they need to get away cleanly, though, although they're not trying to get away. But with Stonebait coming on the other side, this is going to get a little bit awkward. B-God's dropped down. B-God's taken out, but the fight continues. Lil Nick activates his BKB. Nico trying to hold off on using his. But that means Nick is really alone on the front line. RCY is just going to start firing away from the high ground, getting in the missiles, getting in the lasers. And they do take Lil Nick down. Scourge, a little bit low on HP himself, and he's just lost his teammate. Nico got picked off. Nico, though, buying back immediately. They see RCY. They want to try and track him down. Can they actually do this, though? RCY, gonna rearm, gonna go in. They've got the E-Blade. Is it enough for the kill? No, it's not, and Nico's returned. But they can't actually lock down that Tinker. He's able to jump away. B9 may be sacrificed here. Oh, maybe not yet. Oh my god.
Well, now they gotta run.
The Tinker's
Tinker,
coming back.
he's coming.
Nico's getting hit. He's gonna zip away, but that's all of his mana. He's not making it. How does he get away with some of this ET? RCY was sitting on 400 health. Okay, Nico, yo. Oh boy.
I mean, you're getting tinkered. This is not the most fun game Nico's ever had of Dota in his life, and
then Scourge tips him too.
Oh no! Now Pingu's got a BKB TP away because everything is just kind of falling apart here. Does Nick find the jump though? Nope. Never mind. Emotions riding high here for the cut.
And as you said, I mean, you're getting tankered. Find me someone who's still calm in this situation. Oh, okay, all right, Nico. Hey, let's not get too heated here. All right.
See, RCY can laugh it off. Uh-oh. Well, now we just have to sit on that. Well, that's great.
Oh boy.
Nico's got the smack for sure. He knows where he stands, and he also knows that this is not the best. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh man. Well, listen, here's the thing though. If you're the cut, Italiano. If you're the cut, just this is still winnable, right? Like don't lose your cool, right? Don't get too sort of out of control here, because you're not out of the game yet. I don't know. Nico kind of seems like he's getting a little bit towards the edge. Well, not towards the edge. He is tilted. You don't all chat in Pro Series unless you are tilted, but
yeah, we'll see, because there's still an opportunity for them to turn this game around. All it takes is a nab, and of course, Scourge has a BKB now, so he can maybe just single-mindedly stick on that Tinker a little bit more, as B9 is trapped up here. He's got a blink, though. They decided to free him, even though it looks like they wanted to maybe make a play, but that's also where getting a chokehold around this Roach pit. Only have really the single ward here, but too many high grounds the DogChamp have to actually play around. But really, the biggest concern is that RCY is getting closer to that 25, and then your team fights get so much messier.
Well, let's see. Tinker still making progress towards the Hex. Meanwhile, Nico did respawn, so he's back up. He's got a BKB still, but okay, that was Phantasm. Not sure if they're going to look for a fight here, or if this is just to try and keep the top lane pushed out. Could be either one, but at the same time, the cut, they're moving forward. Smoke's going to break, though, onto B9. Not the target that they want, but they don't have a choice. They're going to go in, they get the quick kill. And now can they go for more? Nico zipping his way forward. He's going to get onto the Chaos Knight, but the Solar Guardian's in. BKB's out from pretty much everyone who has one. And they do take Stonebank down, but Nico does fall. They're without the Storm Spirit. He doesn't have any buyback available. The BKBs are starting to wear off, so now they need to be wary because RCY, he's looking to make his move. Pushing forward. Missiles coming through. Lasers flying out as well. Scourge, though, is trying to hunt for him. Will he be able to actually get vision? Not quite yet. RCY still jumping around. But the Cut have managed to maintain some cohesion here, so they are still grouped up.
Uh-oh.
Take down Yarn, but Scourge is in trouble. He's able to waveform his way through the curse. No, it actually still hit him. He's still stunned. Now he's going to get disarmed as well. In some trouble. E-Blade onto him. RCY looking for the damage. Doesn't have a lot of mana. Will it be enough to finish the job, though? I don't think so. But Italiano Gangster cleans up Pingo on the other side. RCY will go for the easier kill onto B-God, and the fight ends, ET. It's a very long one, and for a moment there, it looked like the Cut could maybe pull it out, but without the Tinker kill, it's just not enough.
You know, it's extremely messy. It ends up with really being a 4v4 because even though Stonebank, he pops his BKB, doesn't really look very great, dies super early, Italiano Gangster also just pops Nico. The Storm Spirit just dies in a single Starbreaker. The damage is just too much, and then the fight breaks out, and then even though you die back onto your Dark Willow, it still just ends up being a situation where RCY is the last one to pop his BKB. He gets to wait through it all, and during all the chaos, they don't get back this high ground, which is something that Yaren endlessly fought for to make sure that the Tinker could afford to go wild. He knew all of the positioning in that team fight, which is why he gets to exit and come back so confidently. But now, Hex is up, and bottom, Nico!
Yep.
No, he didn't know about it. He showed for a second top lane, but it doesn't matter. And now your Storm Spirit's on the deck, no buyback for 3 minutes. They want to. DogChamp could just spin this into Roche now.
Stonebank is already pushing his way in. He's going to get it started. Aegis and Aghanim Shard both available. They scouted it out, though. Pingu sends the, the flare in there, so... Well, they know it's there. The question is, can they do anything about it?
I think without the Storm, just don't have the reach. And at the end of the day, I don't think that RCY can take it. I feel like it'd probably be a little bit too much micro in between slotting out his Soul Ring and everything, so should just be a Stonebank. Yeah. And it will be a Stonebank Aegis. Chart on the ground probably for Dark Willow, but game has still not changed. You still need to get the Tinker first, or at the very least kill everyone else, especially Italiano Gangster. I think this Dawnbreaker is as well getting just a little bit too much done in these team fights.
We're just really starting to come together right now, and all the Cut feels like they're still going to have some opportunities here to try and turn things around, ET, but the number is dwindling, right? Something's got to change. Something's got to break for them in the near future. Otherwise, it's going to get kind of rough, and it already is. Tier 2 tower's getting taken down. Stonebank's going to push it forward. Well, Stonebank... Is he just working towards a Scotty at this point for himself? Yeah. He's got the ulti orbs. He's got the... Well, he doesn't have the point booster, but he's only a couple hundred gold away from it. So, Scotty up on CK. There is a Satanic now finished for the Morphling, but... Well, if he's hit by the Scotty, then all of a sudden you're not going to be quite as effective healing yourself through.
Yeah, and all things being said in this game, Stonebank is still extremely weak. He still can't do anything versus the Morphling. He will just die in that fight. But he is slowly but surely getting there, which is all that matters. And whether or not, I think, again, they can just find the initiation, because there's also a Hex picked up on Nick. Of course, to get up all of these items, nobody on the cut is playing with buyback right now, or at least not in the cores. So if they do die here, you could see the game just fall apart very quickly. So now they need to probably look for a few of their buybacks before they can fight with true confidence here, but that's why they're hovering near this high ground ward. They know that that's probably the safest bet here, and DogChamp don't really push the fastest, even though they do have their lanes in. But yeah, they're just trying to be safe, be patient. If they can get the creeps off this mid tower, then that's ideal, so they don't get pushed onto their high ground just yet, but we'll have to see. Ninja Gear also picked up for Nick, so he could be smoked when he's looking for this Blink Hex play, but he does need to find the Tinker.
No one's back from the cut right now other than the Hoodwink, so this is going to be a lot of damage onto the tier 3 before there's any sort of response, but Pingu's here. They just saw him throw that sentry down, though, with their own wards, so... Do they try to make a move? If you go into Stonebank, he's got the Aegis. They do get the Spear back, but RCY is going to make his move, pushing forward as well. And now the Solar Guardian right onto the back line. Italiano Gangster is in, and the Cut are going to have to try and back away. Nico, okay, he is going to be able to zip his way out, but the fight is still going on, and Italiano's doing a lot to just kind of keep everybody occupied. They did, however, get through the Aegis. So the first life of the Chaos Knight is down. Pingu's going to now hook his way in. But this is not really the fight that they wanted. They need Nico and the Morphling in here, but they're already going to lose two, but they are starting to do the damage. B9 and Italiano Gangster will both die. Stonebank in trouble as well. Can he fight his way out of this? No, he cannot. As Scourge picks up the double, looking for the triple onto Yarn. Yarn's going to buy some time with the Ghost Scepter, but he's still stunned. It looks like Scourge will finish it off. Gem hits the deck. Triple kill for the Morphling. RCY gets away, but everyone else goes down, including the CK twice, so... We said it was still doable for the Cut. They just did it.
They hold the line, and they saved their BKBs. And Pingu absolutely carried the team fight there. Would have been a lot more difficult if that hookshot doesn't come through, catches two of those melee heroes just stuck, and is what leads into Italiano's death, because he can't get off another Starbreaker where he probably would have just healed to full. But that also goes to show that DogChamp are not out of the woods yet. There is a super farmed, extremely powerful Morphling on the other side. Just hit his 25 as well, so he's even more difficult to deal with. And I think that's where we might ride that fine line where no more mistakes. You have to actually decisively get on a hero and then finish it off. Because right now, they're doing a lot of chip damage. They're doing a lot of damage in an AoE. And, well, Nico just got a solo kill on B9. Yeah, that feels pretty nice. For the Storm Spirit, give him a few more levels. But now, speaking of Storm Spirit, he's kind of back. He's getting a few items, and if he wants it, he's got a full Item Scepter. So Nico can become that de facto initiator and actually really start to slow down both Stonebank and Italiano Gangster from these team fights. But again, I think it's also where DogChamp are not going to slow push anymore. They just need to be more dynamic and when they go for the high ground again. They have to actually just start a team fight where they blink, stun, kill the target, move on to the next guy. The slow push felt really bad.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, the thought process is we have Aegis, maybe we can make it work. Right, and it clearly did not work, so don't try it again and try to salvage the lead that they're still holding on to here. So a costly experiment, but one that they could at this point maybe still afford to absorb, as RCY, he's got enough for his overwhelming blink now if he does want to buy it out. That does put him, I think, a little bit too low to have buyback, but he is working on it at the moment. At the same time, though, here comes the Cut. Smoked up, looking for something. If they push into this west side high ground, they could find... Nick is going to pop first, though. BKB active. Drops the arena down. Doesn't have vision on Yarn, though, so he'll miss with the spear. And Yarn, how much time can he buy? Do they want to go back in? Scourge is already onto the back line, though. B9 gets taken down. Now they're going to look in onto Stonebank as well, but his BKB is active, so the Vortex doesn't hit him, but it does get Italiano as well as Yarn, so they do take one down. And this is not looking great. Italiano's trying to get away, but there's that Scotty coming into play, slowing him up. He's going to try and turn around for the Starbreaker. Does manage to connect with it, but that's not enough to keep him alive. And, well, RCY, at that point, really just a bystander, a spectator in that fight. Wasn't willing to go all the way in, so the Cut take a very clean, very definitive teamfight win.
And, well, RCY... Oh, he gets Hex. Needs the rest of the team to come in. That's a huge zip. No mana, but
Sharpshooter. All right, and now Stonebank is here. Maybe he gets a return kill onto Nico. Okay, but he needs backup, and no one's alive to help him. Or maybe he doesn't need backup. He is putting up a hell of a fight here. Nick might just go down, and we finally see TPs as the Dark Willow respawns. Stonebank is still in some trouble. There's going to be another Hex out onto him. He did manage to get the hit onto Nick, though, so the Mars does have to back away, but the Morphling getting involved means they are going to be able to find this kill. Stonebank falls. And ET, the Cut are starting to do it. They've taken the lead. They've dealt with the Tinker at least the once, and, well, they're pushing on to objectives. They're looking pretty damn good here.
Now they get to push on. They are only looking for the Tinker buyback here. They really don't care about anything else, where DogChamp might just need to concede his entire bottom lane and then hope and say, well, they can't push for anything else, so we're happy with that. But they glyph, so okay. They will get a refresh, but cannot afford to lose any bodies right now, and with Scourge becoming the Undying and barely surviving, but Scourge doesn't let him go. And now Italiano respawning shouldn't matter, but they're doing everything in their power to not use the Tinker buyback. And the only thing that will get Tinker buyback is actually hitting the tier 4s here, so we'll see if the Cut decide to push it even further, because that's exactly what they want right now.
Hook shot.
And okay. Well,
okay, into Spear. B9 dead. And they're hitting tier 4s. 14 seconds. Decision time for DogChamp. They will pop the glyph again. It was refreshed after losing the tier 3, so that buys time. The buyback will not have to be used, but at this point, ET Tinker's coming up to a scenario where he has very little backup. That's going to force the other buybacks, but now they have to catch and they can't do it. Okay, they do get Pingu, but they want Scourge. Solar Guardian's coming in, though. It's not going to hit onto anybody, but the Morph has to be the target. They have to get Scourge here. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. Italiano, though, is going to force the fight. BKB's coming out from both sides. Missile Blade stun is there. But now here comes the Zip. They're going to get themselves in there. Little Nick drops the arena down as well. And the front line is evaporating. Yarn's going to get taken down. RCY is going to try and send some missiles out here, but there's just no play left to be made. Italiano goes down, and ET, they bought back to try and force that, so not really sure what they can do now, although I don't know if the Cut really want to go back in at this point. Bottom was the only lane they really had pushed out. There's still tier 2s elsewhere, so looks like it's going to be a little bit of a reset, but Scourge... I thought for a moment he was actually going to try to make a play onto the Tinker, but he's not going to go for it.
Yeah, they're checking Roche. Gonna see that it's not the earliest possible respawn timer, but looks like they're going to instead opt to play a little bit safer here, which does give DogChamp another team fight. They get something else to play for in this game, but I think that's also where they're realizing that painfully Stonebank is not strong enough to win against this Morphling. He is just too weak right now. They're not finding enough initiations with him. He's just not connecting very well, which means that Scourge just doesn't really have that bigger beast to fight against. And well, Scourge just bought the Ag Synth, is going to scout out that there's an Ags on the Roche, and with it being alive, well, will they contest? Probably not, which means that this is going to be an Aegis on your Morphling, or even just give it to the Storm Spirit. I think the Morph is just too slotted at this point, even though he is still the one majorly hitting those buildings, but it's where I think this game is kind of snowballed out of control for DogChamp, where they look great from ahead, but now got a Regen Rune, got an Arcane Rune on the Storm Spirit. Hiko's going to fight to keep this alive as long as possible, but Ag's on the ground, give it to the Mars, Cheese too. This game is so complicated to play now, and now the roles are completely reversed, where, again, Stonebank just feels like the one lagging the most behind.
And at this point, I mean, what is the play for DogChamp? What is the game plan here? Because they could try to buy time, but if you try to use RCY to buy that time, he could get hit up. So do they take that risk and just try to avoid this Aegis, or should they try and take a fight right now?
I think, honestly, waiting it out, as difficult as that is, kind of has to be the play. You have 2 level 24 heroes. RCY isn't really growing anymore, but you'd like a nice high ground fight where he gets to use his buyback into probably a team wipe for the Cut, but that's also where you're going to lose all of your outer towers now. All you can do is try and cut waves with the Tinker, which has worked so far, but as soon as the Cut can stick onto an objective, there really isn't much you can do without having Glyph. So I can only imagine that now the mid tower is probably just going to die. Not the healthiest tower in the first place, so not the biggest loss in the world, but I think step 1 is just getting your level 25s here on your heroes, and CK just got his, so that's pretty nice, but Italiano would really like 2 Starbreaker charges. That might actually end up mattering a whole lot here once those team fights do end up going and you don't have your BKB having a little bit more spell immunity to play around. But the other option for DogChamp is to look for picks, but the problem is no picks exist. The Cut don't need to separate at all. They will be as a 5-man lineup until they either win or they're all dead.
They're not going to let themselves get sort of caught off and slowly but surely picked by the opposing side at this point. So DogChamp have their work cut out for them. Stonebank did upgrade the Orchid into a Bloodthorn here, so his damage, and really all of his teammates' damage too for that matter, does take a little bit of a tick up onto a singular target. And well, realistically speaking, I guess there's no wrong core to hit up with that Bloodthorn. Just killing off anybody quickly would be helpful, but we'll see who the prioritized target will be here for Stonebank if he gets a chance to use it.
Oh, and we'll see, because, of course, Morphling, after ages, after BKB and Satanic, you know, maybe that's your choice, but also just having enough damage to maybe kill off the Storm Spirit by yourself is probably just as nice, but we'll see. We haven't gotten a real team fight after this overwhelming blink was picked up by the Tinker either, just because he hasn't really wanted to stick himself into those team fight situations just yet, but it's also where for the cut, they finally get this top wave in. It's been a long time coming, but they're able to make it happen. Aren't able to cancel Italiano's TP either, so he will return back into the base, but slowly but surely, those buybacks are coming back up, but this is where the cut, this is their time to pressure. 3 minutes left on the Aegis, but looking for any jump on the back line. They don't know about the Storm Spirit either.
Italiano gets Hex. They're going to hit him with the Spear Stun as well. Terrorize does hit onto the Morphling, but the rest of the lineup is in there. They're trying to do the damage. Italiano, though, not dead just yet. He is dropping, though, and Scourge will finish him off. Can Scourge now get away? It looks like he is going to get hexed up. Can they drop him? They need more damage. Buy back into Solar Guardian. They're through with the first life. Now they're going to focus in on Danico. Storm Spirit in some trouble. BKB still active, though, so he's dancing his way around it. They're going to take down B9, but they're still in some trouble. They need to be able to keep heroes alive here. Pingu is going to go down. Scourge trying to fight. Waveforming around. Nico zipping in, too, but Nico's going to start to run out of mana. Meanwhile, Italiano still in, able to get the Starbreaker down, but Nick buys back, rejoins the fight, and gets the Spear Stun to finish off the Dawn. And now RCY, he's not going to make it out. They take him down. His buyback is available, and it's absolutely going to be needed. He doesn't buy back. They're just going to push their way onto the racks.
Yeah, and that's where all they're waiting for is Stonebank to find a jump. He doesn't have his ulti for another 20 seconds, so they're trying to get greedy with it. Oh, and well, there's your jump.
They're in onto Nico. Can they take him down? He gets the Vortex off. He's going to pull everybody in before he dies. But he does die.
Oh,
They take down one.
Enough.
Nick is dead as well. The Morphling's in trouble. They're hitting him up. They got him hexed. They've got him stunned. They'll kill him. And the cut. Have you made a bit of a mistake here? That's definitely an overextension. But is it something DogChamp can actually take advantage of, or is this just a hold the line scenario?
But they did obtain a win condition, and if they don't get their buybacks first, then this game does just start to swing heavily in their favor. And honestly, that team fight looks so good for DogChamp up until the fact that RCY doesn't die fast enough, which is funny because he would have loved to just buy back and immediately get back in there, but because they just keep him on 300 or 400 HP in a position where he can't die, he can't blink away, then, well, he doesn't get to help his teammates out. And then Stonebank just carries the team fight. And then you realize we've still got a Storm Spirit who doesn't have as much mana. He's got so many mangoes on deck, as well as the Morphling just having mangoes for a Storm Spirit to play the game, but ends up not being enough. Now, all you have to do is not die, though. B-God's got to be so careful in the base, but this is where a buyback into a dieback could just be the game. Stonebank, he's got his buyback coming up in a minute 30, so they're only looking for RCY. But, again, I don't think you're getting buybacks here with how bad your push is from DogChamp, meaning that there is still going to be that window where if you kill RCY, the game ends. You win. They have to do some incredible heroics to hold without the Tinker. And until then, sure, this might be a free racks mid, but this is still anybody's game.
Sounds weird to say considering the cut are still sitting on a 12k lead, but that is very much the case. We're getting to that point, 50 plus minutes in, gold starts to matter less and less. It's just all about those buyback statuses. And, well, I don't know, ET. Orf's back up. Roche can't respawn for about 3 minutes at the earliest, so do both sides wait it out, see what the timer is, and fight around the Roche, or do we see somebody make a move now? Because if the cut go forward, there is still some high timers on these buybacks.
No, it's where the cut. They're the ones with the advantage. They even just picked up a full refresher orb on Scourge, because, yeah, he's got luxury. He's got enough in this game.
Wow.
I think, yeah, if you are the cut, it is your time to actually make this aggressive play happen. But that's also where, huge for RCY, just picked up a Wind Waker. And that could be your, oh, you can't kill me, you can't kill my teammates either. It's where any jump now is going to be a question mark for the cut. And of course, RCY has to be careful. If he gets caught in a AoE vortex, he probably just dies, no buyback, game ends. But that's where there is now a little bit more of that buffer. And that's why the cut, they're looking to slam their bodies into DogChamp's base. If not the base, just looking for a pickoff here. We'll see. Double Hex as well now on Nick. Got the Refresher Orb too, so could stun up a hero for 8 seconds, and then suddenly you just lose someone. But they're getting a little bit scared here as they get closer to the high ground. They don't want to overextend themselves either, especially Nick, who doesn't have buyback. But the longer you wait, the shorter those cooldowns go for your opponents, and then your window starts to shrink, and then you wonder if we're just waiting for Roche now.
Italiano just doing a little bit of split pushing up top. Doesn't want to fully show himself, though, because they're still maybe not entirely sure where their opponents were. They will get vision now. They've got this ward in their triangle that spots out Scourge and Nico, so they know they've got some time, and they do push out because of it. Stonebank has farmed his way back into a buyback status, and well, now they're just kind of waiting out more cooldowns, and well, it may just come down to Roche after all, ET. 45 seconds away from a fast respawn, and DogChamp still have this ward up here that's giving them some nice vision, so they'll know if the cut are kind of operating in the area as they do right now. They don't have to come here unless they see an actual reason to do so.
No, and now you're underneath a little bit of pressure. Is it time for you to actually play, or you just keep near the high ground wards? Italiano this far out, this is terrifying, but he's kind of pressing his luck right now.
Getting very tense, and at this point, you know, we're getting close to that 60-minute mark, too, so, well, the nature of the game is going to change. Will change even further. It's already changed a little bit. As you can see, everyone just kind of standing, waiting, looking to see what's going down as Nick is pushing his way forward. They did get Pingu out there first, so he is going to absorb the Abyssal Blade hit, and they're in onto Italiano Gangster. No buyback, he's dead. And the Spear's going to cancel out B9 as well. He can't TP home. He's just got to try and fight, do what damage he can, maybe buy some time, but he is going down.
And that's an expensive decision to make there. You pop your Refresher Orb just to get the dieback on the Dark Willow going, but now you're in a 3v5, what could be a 3v7 as well if the cut all aggressively use their buybacks. And that is a very early Roche as well. So honestly, they could go get Aegis. They could decide to just turn around. They're going to need to flare it again before they're absolutely ready. But this is their moment. And you wonder, DogChamp, do you have enough to fight here? Or is this just going to be it? Is this the final push? And actually, they do scout it out. Thing is, it's such a fast Roche. They could probably do both at this rate. Just get the Aegis, get everything with it. Another Ags, another Refresher, and then turn around and look at the high ground. But we'll have to see if that's going to be enough time, because it looks like you are going to at least let the Dark Willow respawn, but Italiano is still maybe just a little bit more pressed.
And you see RCY, he was just trying to push out some lanes, but at this point, he's just kind of tapped out on slots. There's really not much else he can buy. So, well, here we go. Aegis into Scourge's hands. God picks up the Aghanim Scepter. They get the cheese over to the Storm. He takes the shard for himself as well, and oh boy. If the cut can't clean it up here, then I'm not entirely sure what scenario that they need to play out for them, but they're going to try for something, as Stonebank's actually going to jump in first. Pingu getting hit up. They're able to take him down quickly, but now Stonebank has to fight. He's going to pop his BKB, though, actually just looking to fall back, but that means Yaren, yeah, he's stuck here, but he hit 25, so I mean, he's back up, and he's actually going to be able to get himself out of here. Force Staff, Glimmer Cape, no Scepter all popped, and he does get away. However, that talent does have a very, very long cooldown.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit before we see that, but he's the hero that still has buyback, and you forced a knee-jerk reaction out of the Clockwork. I think more importantly there, you got the BKB from Stonebank. The CK might not feel that confident, but look at the smoke. This is where you place an obs, and then the fight breaks out. And Pingu, well, he's breaking. There's the obs. There's the sentry.
Can they actually find this quick kill? They're looking for it, but they don't have it yet. Yaren is going to push his way forward. Electric Vortex pulls him in, but Italiano Gangster makes his move, jumping in. Stonebank, though, he doesn't want to go in yet. He's waiting for his moment, but he's losing his teammates. The supports both went down. They both buy back immediately, though. But Stonebank needs some assistance. Reinforcements do arrive. They're trying to turn this fight, as Nick is going to get picked off. But they need more. What else can they find? Solar Guardian is in. They're going to try to hit up Scourge. They've got him stunned, but he's so far back, I don't know if they really want to go. Instead, they try to punish out Pingu, and they do find him, but now they have their primary target. Scourge is all alone. They take him down once, and the cut, where are you? You cannot let him die for free here. They have got to protect him, as the BKB is going to come through. Scourge into the middle of the engagement, looking for Stonebank. Not a quick kill for him, though, but Nick is able to get off the spear stun. They've got the Dawnbreaker locked down. Italiano Gangster dead. Buyback is available, but they're shifting their focus. They're going to try to get onto the Chaos Knight, but the BKB is back up. They have to kill him quick. They're not going to get it. Italiano Gangster now in with the Starbreaker, connecting onto 2. On the backline, Nick trying to keep RCY at bay with the arena, but it's not going to be enough. The fight is still going. Nico gets taken down. Scourge dropping. Scourge dead. And the cut, they are in some trouble. They're going to pop their own buybacks here. They get the Morphling and the Storm back in, but they have to TP onto the damn outpost, ET, so they're not back into the fight.
No, and that's it. That's every buyback from the cut now. You have nothing left to give. Your Tinker has buyback. RCY didn't die during any of that. He Wind Waker's past Little Nick. He doesn't care about the arena. And you used everything there. And of course, you got the dieback onto Italiano Gangster, but aside from that, where do you stand now? That was everything. You threw everything at your opponents there, and you're not able to use your buybacks aggressively anymore. You are done. The game is even now. You have leveled out completely, and you can't afford just to sit around and now do nothing. But with that, the 3 men of DogChamp, the people who were left alone to defend the base before, are back up, and they're angry. They're going to get on the aggressive here. Stonebank is further out of the base than he has been in the past 10 minutes, and he doesn't really care. And if you find a Hex, now it's over. You can't afford to be late on your BKBs anymore. And with the way these teamfights have been going, I don't know, I could see RCY just throwing his body at his opponents and then just buying back and then ending the game. This is crazy, but...
That fight gave me shivers, legit shivers, ET. It's a beautiful game. And DogChamp might just be able to turn it around. What can the cut do here? They still have a lot of firepower, but they have to know when and where to use it. And right now, well, honestly, this might be the safer play. They're just going to surrender some racks, but is this enough? I mean, Nick's going to come back in 30 seconds. You know, you have him. He'll have... Actually, he won't have Refresher for a little bit, but with no one having buyback, how confident are you to do any... Oh, God, that's very confident. Or maybe that's desperation. It's a fine line between the two.
No, he just says, I need damage. And damage, even if you are, 40 strength morph or whatever, you could be 500 strength morph at this point, but a 7,000 HP morphling, I don't know if that's going to be enough even at this point with how this game has gone on. And with all the buybacks for us, well, DogChamp are still at the advantage with that as well. Their buybacks are coming up faster than yours because they held with the people that didn't pop. I don't know, the cut, they feel so scared right now. They do not want to leave their base. They don't want to fall into that same mistake.
Tier 5s have dropped. They've got to be farming them up.
Let's see him. Oh, you just got a Seer Stone on RCY? Well, that's ridiculous. Okay, sure. That's fair.
Oh, yeah, you see the cut now realizing, hey, we got to get some tier 5s. Can't afford to go into a fight where they have them and we don't. So they are pushing out, but that's a Refresher Orb on RCY, so he's going to be doing some funky stuff here trying to slot items in.
Yeah. And of course, Pocket Refresher, not as powerful as it used to be. You have to actually have it in to cool down, so after he uses it, probably just for a second BKB to win this game. Well, they're looking for the win bottom. Yeah, they're going in.
Got to back up. They've got to get away. TP not going to go through there. RCY will cancel it. But they're still looking for somebody. Who can they get? They're going to be able to get onto Nico. They've caught the Storm. Actually, no, wait, that's Scourge. Scourge is the one getting hit. They cannot afford to lose him. He's able to waveform himself out of trouble. Looking to reset the fight. Pingu, though, does have to give his life to keep his teammate alive. And Scourge, I think he just had a Refresher to get more waveform charges. He's going to look to TP away, and he does make it home. Oh, my God. The cut are in some serious danger. And Lil Nick, he can't go down, but he's hexed. He's not able to get away. And it's a 2-man play, ET. It is Scourge and Nico against the world. Can they do it?
And they have no BKBs. They have nothing to give here. I think this might just be it. I think this might be DogChamp just winning the game. RCY, he can afford to just die twice. And Stonebank, he's finally strong enough. Yeah, he's huge. He has so much evasion as well. Scourge can't actually beat him in the 1v1 anymore. He doesn't have room for an MKB. He doesn't have room for all of his items at this stage. And Scourge, he's trying to walk up. He needs to become probably Yarn at this point just to get a tomb to stall them. But that's your glyph. This is your forcing move. They still know there are no buybacks. And this is not DogChamp going anywhere. They smell victory.
They've got to go, though. Scourge has got to make a move. He's going to make the jump, trying to waveform onto something. Can they actually lock him down? They're going to be able to hit him up. There's going to be Nico coming in. It's a good AoE Vortex, but the damage is just too much. Scourge is dead. That's going to be the rapier hitting the deck, and that is going to be game. GG called. And DogChamp, I mean, at the absolute end of their rope ET, they took 2 or 3 fights in a row where if they lose, it's over. But they hold the line, and they turn it around, and they knock the cut out of Pro Series 12.
Yeah, despite the great changes that the Cup made to the lineup, despite the great performances that they've had coming up until this point, they just lose it all at the end here. In Scourge, I mean, 21-4-20. You hate to see it for the man, but just wasn't able to do even more for his team, despite, win probability being, a disaster. It's all over the place for a very good reason. But then at the end, even when they have such a deafening advantage, even when it feels like they should just be able to throw their bodies and at least force the Megas, they have to go for the jump onto the Tinker, and they have to try and force as much out of DogChamp as they can, and they miss 1 or 2 opportunities where they don't have enough mana. They had so many mangoes at the end of the game. Their solution to Storm Spirit was buying 9 mangoes across all of their cores because they have more gold to work around with than they do have mana pool on their Storm Spirit, but it ends up not being enough. And DogChamp threw several fantastic holds, through several high ground defenses where it doesn't matter. The hero plays just get made anyway. And then Stonebank, just stroke of genius, turning his build around saying, hey, well, I know what you have on Morphling. I'm just going to make myself untouchable. Let me get 3 sources of evasion. And then suddenly you can't right click me. So what are you going to do? I mean, it just ends up being the perfect storm for the Cut to lose this game. Before all of this, maybe your Storm loses his cool. Maybe the rest of the line just starts to slow down. But RCY Tinker, through thick and thin, it just works.
And now, we talked about it in the last series, right? After RCY pulls it out. Yeah, maybe you should ban the Tinker. He's really good at it. After this series, there are no excuses. You let RCY play anything else. I know his Batrider's good. I know his Invoker is crazy. But this Tinker can single-handedly keep his team in the game and even just win the game. You can't let it through. You straight up can't.
Yeah, and of course, we always talk about statement matches where, well, this is what DogChamp are going to do. Is the next series going to be first phase Tinker? Who knows? Maybe. Are you going to ban it? You're going to think about it. And that's where you get pressed and pressed away from those really broken meta heroes. And you think, do we need to ban out what DogChamp play? Or do we need to ban out what's the best in the meta? That's a problem now for a new team, because DogChamp continue in their lower bracket run.
And actually, we'll show you the bracket in actually just a second here, because we are going to oh boy, to shut things down here. But I'm pumped, ET. What an insane match. It's just a shame that that's the game that ends the day, because my god, between the performances, between the Nico trash talk, a game 3 would have looked absolutely insane. But we are not going to get it. DogChamp do get the win. They will take on Wolf Team tomorrow in the 3rd round of lower bracket. But I just unbelievable, this match. I mean, it seemed like DogChamp were really out of it, but as long as you've got RCY Tinker, you're never out of anything.
Yeah, and then, hey, we'll have to see. Is this just the pick up a new offlaner, pick up a new mid, get top 3 at BTS Pro Series? Because again, this is DogChamp repeating history a little bit here, and all they got to do is ban out HFN Medusa. I don't know. we'll see. But no,
yeah,
that series is going to be great. And then also, you get to see who gets knocked down. 5-rat versus SG. I mean, there's so many good matches tomorrow, actually. I'm pumped. BTS Pro Series is heating up.
Yeah, it's getting really good here at this point. You are not going to want to miss those matchups, and you are going to have our Cryptic and Neff covering that day for you as well. So they're obviously going to bring the hype, even if Neff is, halfway on the other side of the world. But they will have those matchups for you tomorrow afternoon. We are going to be shutting down here in just a little bit. Before we go, though, and a little bit of maybe a come down, I know, but, it is time to talk about it, because we didn't talk about the giveaway before. We're going to plug it now. So everybody just take a breath, calm down. Last game was crazy, but we do now move from some Dota into a potential giveaway scenario, because we are giving out some stuff to some lucky winners here. An Armada 25 FHD gaming monitor from HyperX, along with some BTS merchandise, t-shirt and hoodie, all up for grabs here. If you are the winner of our giveaway, you can go to bts.gg/ Pro Series giveaway to enter into that drawing. You have until the end of Pro Series, which, you know, ET, I've been saying this whole time, oh, you got plenty of time, you know, just whenever. Running out of time, folks. October 7th at 11:59. I'm sure we're not going to necessarily enforce that deadline, but still, you are running out of time. You want to get your entry in there, win yourself some BTS stuff or a free monitor. Sounds like a pretty awesome deal. So bts.gg/pro series giveaway is the address to go to. And now, well, let's swing it back over here one last time, because we're not quite done yet. I do want to say, or ask one last thing, ET, because we are not going to be here tomorrow for the next round. But what are we looking at here, both from this series, or these two series, and what we're going to get tomorrow afternoon?
I think a big thing is going to be Yuma. Yuma carry, seeing what he's actually able to do. And that lane is the lane to actually watch, because you're going to get Yuma versus Speed. I think both of the most impactful players on their respective teams. Going to have to see if they can keep their heads down, keep their heads clear. I think this is a huge chance for an upturn, though, for 5-Rat. And of course, they're already happy with their position in the tournament. But seeing if an NA squad like them can finally take up a team versus SA, I mean, that for sure is going to be the game to watch. But then Wolf Team, I mean, we got to see them already. Is King RD just going to do it to him again? Is he going to just play out of his mind as a 4th position? What's FCR going to play? I mean, there are too many questions, honestly, to be answered. But that's where you just can't miss tomorrow.
Good stuff on deck for tomorrow afternoon. Same start time, again, going to be 1 p.m. Pacific time, so do not miss out on that. But for now, we are going to be getting on out of here. So a pair of 2-0s. Congratulations to Wolf Team and DogChamp for moving on. Commiserations to the Cut and Ravens as they are knocked out. But this is going to do it for us. So thank you all so much for watching. And well, we will not see you tomorrow, but we hope that you enjoy that Dota as well. So thank you all. We'll see you later.